There we go. Hello, everyone. We had just for a quick second there. We had a little bit of. I had a little bit of trouble just trying to log on. So I don't know what was the cause of that. But look at that. These eager people. We've been away a week and we're raring to go. I've never seen a more eager guy to go to start the show. Hey! So yes, welcome to the Potty Mouth Garden Club. I am Tony Smith. Before we get into the intro, a couple of little things. Don't forget the Discord. We have a Discord there, and what I'll do is I'll put it, because the link has been a little bit Discord. It has been a little bit dead. So hopefully that Discord link there is live in the chat. You can come and join that and have a little talk and a little play around and keep us all happy before we kind of get to the next show. Right, I'm waffling. Let us run the intro. Oh, file not found. Oh, can you see that? I don't know if you can see. Not now. Then I'll locate file. Oh, I'll have to kind of do that. There's no intro today. I'll have to kind of.
Maybe it'll be an outro.
I've been housekeeping, and that's what it is. And it's funny that me and JB have been doing some kind of chatting about microphones and things like that. And I started to mess around, and I was thinking, pull back, Tony, pull back, because it'll just all go horrible. So I'll find the intro for next week. But let's say hello to my fantastic friends now. Stephen.
Hello there.
How are you doing, sir? Now, why is that? Why is that? That's
I'm doing very well. Very well indeed. Thank you very much.
Well, that's nice.
I'm very happy. All the stuff's planted,
Is it hot?
Compost heap working.
Is it hot? Oh, compost heap already.
It begins.
Listen. It doesn't have to start straight away. We're going to have a little...
No, it does. No, it
does. Stephen is kindly referring to the last video I put out, which was about, re-engineering me compost bins in the kind of... Yeah. We'll talk about that.
I think that's kind of an overstatement.
Yeah. Well, it's the way I do it, Audrey. That's the way I do it, lass. So,
you just scare me every time I see a powered saw in your hands.
I don't like to watch the videos back because I look at that myself.
Oh yeah, no, it looks like you're going to cut a finger off at any given moment.
But we are going to talk about like compost bins. Steve's going to bring some things up and everything, and I'm sure we'll talk keep mentioning mine. But how are you, Audrey? Are you fine?
I'm doing great, thank you.
Well, that's because I haven't seen you for 2 weeks, and you've actually been a little bit quiet on our personal Potty Mouth WhatsApp. And I was thinking,
well, because I wake up after you guys have already had 60 conversations, so it's hard kind of to jump in. I try, but you guys are all in your evenings by then.
I know we're all kind of. Well, actually, I'm kind of.
I will try better to be louder.
And JB, sir. Now I just want to look at that. 28 degrees at Gosport, or 21. It's went down to now, so it's kind of.
It's 28 in this room.
I know.
Back there, it's very warm.
But I just want to kind of point out to everybody. Listen to JB's voice. Oh, look at that. JB taught me because it's like the trickle of the gods. You know what I mean? It's like the voice is like it's like Zeus himself. And what I loved about it, JB, is when you got it, kind of had a little chat with you, and you were kind of diving right deep into all the settings and gates and limiters and all that, and they just kind of went a little bit over me, and I got a little bit scared.
Well, hopefully it sounds good.
Well, welcome everyone. Thank you very much for turning up. If you want a question, you're in the kind of chat. Capital Q would be fantastic. Then I can do a search. Put a capital Q before your question, and I can kind of find it, and that would be fantastic. And I was just saying to Steve, JB, and Audrey that I haven't got many notes this week because we've been a bit. I've been on holiday. Do you know what I mean? I've been sunning myself in the Greek Mediterranean, and it's been Audrey. If 33, 34 sometimes is like what you hit over there, that's brutal, man. It just knocked my holiday. Do you know what I mean? I'm kind of.
I agree. And I'm in the northern United States. Imagine what our southern states do.
I mean, you've got 29 there now, and I just can't.
I know, but they get like 29 in the morning.
Well,
That's their cool.
it's
Yeah,
just...
and humid. Boy, down in Georgia, the humidity, you walk outside and you're wet because of all the humidity.
Oh, no. I actually,
They
Audrey...
easily get temps way past us.
Well, I actually had to... I don't know if it was just like an old boy sweating, but the salt I was giving off was going in my eyes. Every time I stepped outside, I got a flare up in my eyes. I had to go and see a chemist, a pharmacist, to have drops in. And it was just like, man, how weird. Then I got sunstroke because I went on a boat.
Oh, no.
Oh, poor.
And I was dying to like talk to you, Audrey, about like the temperature is just how, no wonder, Audrey, no wonder things are bolting because.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And
it shouldn't be this hot yet.
I cannot
Well,
see.
July it should be. But we got these temps mid-June this year.
We've talked about Bolton
out.
before and everything like that, but I cannot. Yeah. How do you get around
we all
it?
Have air conditioning. We have air conditioning,
but not in your greenhouse.
Not in your garden.
Oh, you've got something fancy.
You can go out for a bit and then come back in and regroup and go back out.
So you know when it is like say at 34, do you have to water that whole garden every day?
Yeah, that's why I have irrigation.
Right. You see.
It's 2 hours to water.
That's the...
So I run, actually in this weather, I run my drip every single morning.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I run it again late afternoon because things are just, it's hot.
Mm-hmm. No, you see, Audrey, you've done it again. That's the key because... I've been away, and we've had to ask a neighbour to go, and then we're away again. I've got to take Junior down to Bristol to drop him back off at Bristol for 3 days, and I don't ask a neighbour again, so I'm asking a friend for the polytunnel. And I was thinking next year I'm going to have to set something up where I can just walk away from it for, maybe get like a big 45-gallon drum barrel, blue barrel, and some sort of drip irrigation because it's just... I'm fighting what I find fighting all the time at the moment to try and just keep, because every day I've got to go up and water them, you know what I mean? And it's not.
Well, and those tunnels and greenhouses get hot.
Oh, God. Aye.
I mean, even in your climate, they get hot. So I can imagine over here what mine would be like.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be great for this early spring to start things February, March, but then it would just be, I could rent it out as a sauna.
Mm-hmm. Well, I was even thinking of buying one of those solar powered like a fan just to get some even more circulation going in. You know what I mean? Because I guess for
that's
Steve,
why most of the commercial places do have fans set
up.
Because it's all about air movement.
Yeah. Because even though I have me 2 doors open and I know Steve's got his, but if you've got no wind, it's still brutal. Do you know what I mean? Yep. So it's still...
Well, the hot air going in and out of your tunnel or being caused in there actually creates an airflow.
Yeah, it should do, shouldn't it?
Right.
It will draw air in, and as it's drawing air in, it pushes out the other end. It's small, but it does change the air in there.
Would it be worth it then, Steve, to even think about putting like a solar panels fan?
I think it would. Yeah, I think it would. Certainly, I mean, especially if you're going to aim it at the base of the plants, I would have thought. So that it goes across the base of the plants and drips up, I would imagine. I don't know. I'd have to look into that properly and technically and all that rubbish, but I'm sure it would make a difference just to move some air around.
Yeah.
Because it is like stifling. And to mind is saying that, we are the northeast of England. We'll probably never see this heat again for another 30 years. You know what I mean? I'll be all set up with like cooling fans and everything like that and not get anything. Stephen, the last time we spoke, you were having a bit of a bad run of things, weren't you? With like, I don't think you'd actually grown a cabbage. So, how's things since I've spoken to you?
The weather here this year has been terrible. I don't know how to explain it. It's just been really, really sort of low temperatures. nothing really above 13 or 14 degrees in the daytime. And it's been dropping. Even 2 nights ago, I think it was down to 11 degrees at night, which is, once you get below 10 degrees, you're sort of looking at your tomatoes shutting down for a while, and then they take a couple of weeks to start up again. So in that respect, the weather has been awful and bad to me this year. But, it swings and roundabouts. Last year it was good, the year before it was good, and probably next year will be good.
Mm-hmm.
So we just get on as best we can. I've got loads of undercover space, so I am growing stuff. I am getting stuff out. I've just had a fantastic garlic crop out, and the elephant garlic.
I seen the photograph you sent, and just like tremendous, to be honest. I was going to ask you, because I'm northeast of England, bit north, and I guess we're horizontal where we are. Are you hardneck or softnecks? Because I've always been predominantly hardnecks, just because of the where we are. You know what I mean?
I'll be honest with you. I've heard the term hardneck, softneck. I just grow garlic.
It's not an answer.
So
what? He's so good at it.
I know.
I have absolutely no idea whatsoever.
Well, it must be then. Did it have scapes on?
Can't remember. To be honest, I don't remember. I know the elephant garlic did. We had them and they were nice. No, I don't think they did. I think mine are soft necks actually, because I had the Solent White in.
Right.
But I don't make a distinction between the two. I just grow garlic, and I tend to grow what I know works well in this country. And Solent White is reliable. There's another one from that area that's really good, and I can't remember the name of it right now. But there's two that do really well in our climate in the UK.
Well, I'm going to have to fleece a few cloves off you then, because mine were like the hardneck. I forget what they were, but I know they were hardnecks because I got all the scapes. But just like
I saw your garlic marbles.
you know what I mean? Marbles is like bigging them up. You know what I mean?
Going on about cauliflower.
Do you know what it was though, Steve? You've hit the nail on the head with the cauliflower thing, because we went away to Greece. We had 5. I picked 5. We used one. I've used one tonight, but the others have just gone. Do you know what I mean? It was just like, it was great timing and bad timing for the holiday. So, but
you should have had them all blanched and in the freezer.
I know, but that's again. Do you know what I mean? Kind of, that's
the main problem with that is that it was too close to your compost heap.
Main problem.
Yeah, it was too close to your compost heap.
Right, and what would pray tell? What's wrong with me compost heap?
Not a lot, really. Not anymore.
Not anymore. It's still not come down, mind you. I didn't. When I think about it, my usual habit is a bag of postcrete on every post. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7, 8, 9. There must have been 10 posts. That's 10 bags. When I think about it, I think that compost bin has been slightly over-engineered. Yeah, slightly.
I never use postcrete on the allotment. Just bang it in with a sledgehammer.
No.
Let it go.
No. I've got to have it where it feels to me where if I put a drill in it, it'll be all right. But
we're not allowed concrete.
Oh, I know. Well, it's funny. Someone mentioned that, JB, when I was actually doing all the flagstones around mine, and I was thinking, I wonder if I'm not allowed. But they've kind of been and come and had a look, and everything's okay. So
it's not like they could easily find out what you're doing or anything, is it?
I know. I keep it very low key. No one knows what's going on. You know what I mean? So, Stephen. We want to talk about safety on allotments. We might as well get it out of the open there now. Get it off finished. Why have you brought up safety on allotments?
Well, it was watching you the other day, Tony, and you were getting yourself in all these awkward situations with this bloody dangerous circular saw. And I've never seen... I mean, you half cleared the area, but you didn't have level ground to work on. And it's so important. I mean, I've done it myself. I've done exactly the same as you've done there, Tony, but I have injured myself. I've cut myself badly in the past, or I've hurt my back or something. So it's just really just to remind people just to be careful what they're doing on allotments, because they are incredibly dangerous places. Even though you built it all yourself, there's always a nail sticking out here or a paving slab that tips over or something. So just people just to be careful out in the gardens, because they are dangerous places.
I know. I'm joking about it, and it's just it is what it is when I do these things. But you kind of you've got to be safety, and I'm you kind of get it done. I'm more impatient than anything, but you've just hit a point there, Steve, when you kind of. Or you think you're all right and you do it. I put my hand in the drawer and I showed people our little pointed potty thing. I've cut. I don't know if I can kind of show you.
Oh yes.
I cut half. It's hard to kind of show on the camera, but half my thumb now has got like a straight edge going down, and it's still because I put my hand in the drawer and there was a mandolin in, and the fucking blood was everywhere. Do you know what I mean? It was like, didn't hurt. There was no pain. I think it was just numb, to be honest. Yeah. So just put my hand in the drawer. Then, like you say, you're using like circular saws. And I was telling Steve, excuse me, I was going to use a bloody chainsaw on it. That's I know.
Horror movie.
I know. So,
can you imagine?
Oh, bloody hell. So, yes, my apologies if you... Don't follow me how to build a compost bin, because you'll build it. It'll still be there when you're kind of old, and then be very safe. Very safe.
I actually showed my husband that because he used to be a woodworker, and he was almost in tears, not laughing, like this guy is going to lose something important.
Well,
yeah,
you see,
he couldn't believe it.
It started to build. This is my excuse, anyways. I took the thingy up, but I had an intention of I'll try, and I thought it will be pretty awkward. But then I lost me bloody key to get in my hook where all my hat, because I was gonna handball, do the old kind of hook, and I've lost my key, so I couldn't get into the hut. And time's a bit of a...
That's when maybe you decide to weed your garden that day.
I know.
And do this another day.
I know.
Yeah.
You shouldn't really operate power tools while you're angry. That's not a good combination. At all.
Steve, that should be on a T-shirt. Don't use power tools when you're angry. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah, but it was funny watching you taking that panel out, because you were like wrestling with a big wooden octopus. It was
I know.
It was hilarious trying to pull this thing, and I was surprised actually you didn't actually take your feet to it and give it a good kicking over. Well, I thought you were losing your cool doing it.
I was, to be honest, and I was like, if it hadn't come out, because every time I tried to lift that bloody thing, some of the wood was going, and the odd time it was catching me finger, and I was like going. Bits you've never seen, to be honest, like, get thing out of here, man. Do you know what I mean? But I didn't want it all to be swearing, because it's just like, so...
You were trying to pull up a 100-pound bloody concrete block on the end of that post.
Yeah.
Yes, so...
I've got to ask, Tony, did you build the bed in front of the compost bay, or did you build the compost bay behind the bed? Which came first? Because that compost bay that you were trying to get everything out of was totally sandwiched in the corner. And it's because there's that big Bertha bed, or the big boy bed, or whatever it is.
The big nasty bed. The big nasty bed comes second. So the compost bins were always there, but they were like, basically like how you see every other compost bin on an allotment, knackered, bit of plywood, rotten to hell in back, a door, you know what I mean? Like a half a door keeping the side up. And I went, and it was because I was like doing the YouTube. I thought, you know what? I'm going to have a decent, or Steve said, I've changed my camera. It'll not cut out on this now. I hope he knows he's gone. But that was the thing, Jimmy. It was kind of, I thought, I'll build a good one and, get it thing. But I couldn't work out as I was, because I don't plan. I just kind of get some wood. And I thought, right. And I was thinking, how am I going to do these sides where... And I thought, you know what? I'll just have it full, and I'll just be... And I've seen a few people do where they just stand on the compost bin.
Yeah.
And just, like, go down with it, turning it over. But I'm 56 nearly. It's a hard kind of. Do you know what I mean? It's like I was standing around because even on the video, I forgot. I don't know why I didn't show, but I had Lauren was in there, Reed's girlfriend, digging.
Yeah.
You know, and it took her 2 or 3 hours. You know what I mean? It's like it was a big pile, you know, and it's hard to kind of get over how big them composts are, and it must have been like 2 years of
Yeah,
2
your bins
years.
are really tall.
Yeah,
They
so
look really tall.
what I'm looking forward to now is the end of the year. That stuff will be beautiful. Do you know what I mean? That stuff's going to be golden. You know what I mean? So that's all I can say. Be careful.
Yeah.
Right. He doesn't look like he's come back anytime soon there now. So what he's got. So let us just put in a letter Q and see if we've got any questions. Oh, we have. Hi, everyone. This is from Beth Anderson. Love the videos. I will not be able to make the live stream for someone that cannot join Discord. We have a west-facing garden. I'm overrun with ants. Do I leave them or not? It's funny, Beth. I'll put Beth's, just for Beth's question there. Overrun to it. There's obviously some more to Beth's question as well, but my polytunnel has got the biggest ants nest this year. You know, we get ants all the time, and I just kind of, ignore them and all that. But this year, I'm obviously wearing shorts and safety conscious as well, sliders. You know what I mean? When you go to the allotment, they're running up my feet, they're running up my ankles, the legs are all over the place.
Really?
Has anybody, Audrey, have you got problem with ants or anything like that?
I did find a couple ant nests in some of my raised beds, which I don't usually have, and they were nasty little biting ants.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'm not quite sure why, but two nests, and as soon as we disturbed them, they went everywhere.
Oh, I know. Well, there was a one in the compost bin, Audrey, as well, when we were kind of doing like a big, and there was just like flying ants there.
Nice, nutritious dirt they might just like.
I
don't know.
mean, we
haven't
didn't.
done any kind of research on ants or anything, but they seemed very happy and had huge nests in there.
Well, I hadn't destroyed them or anything like. Obviously, I moved the thing, but we didn't set out to kind of wreck them. So hopefully they're still there. I don't know if they bring a good. JB, did they bring anything positive to a garden or?
Well, I leave them. I've never ever had to take action against ants, and I do have them all over the place in the compost bays and in a few of my beds. But they don't really bother me. They don't do anything negative for plants, and they kind of make the soil all nice and friable. The only real negative, I think, is the kind of symbiosis they have with aphids and some of the pests that you'll get on your plants. So most people know about ants sort of farming aphids. They farm them for the honeydew that the aphids secrete, and then they kind of protect the ants from predators. No, they protect the aphids from predators. Yes. And but I think it's all about balance, really. For me, they don't do any major harm in the garden, so I just leave them to it. And the flying ants as well are a fantastic source of food for birds and bats and things like that as well. So they do play a role in the ecosystem as well. I
was going to say it's something that it doesn't bother us. You know what I mean? It bothers us when they run up my legs. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, you little buggers, you know what I mean? But
yeah.
Apart from that, I'm not going to stress highly over them. You know, there's way more other critters to kind of stress over more than that. So there you go, Beth. Let's see. Everyone was. Michael Tipley is asking, how are the sunflowers going? Audrey, my sunflowers are going fantastic. They're about my height. I don't know how, I never read the packet actually, how high they grow or anything like that, but they are like a multi-headed sunflower.
Yeah.
And they're lovely. Do you know what I mean? They're kind of, I've got a tickly throat there. They're all over and it's got this nice lemon colour. You know what I mean? So I think I've deleted
those were lemon queens, weren't they?
Lemon, yeah, it might be something like that, yes.
Okay.
Audrey can remember your plants better than you, Tony.
Oh, I know. I've just deleted Audrey. I've just deleted your little white logo thing, I think, there as well from the...
You're having a great day there.
Oh, I'm good once I start. You know what I mean? Once I start.
That's all right. It's just a white thing. It's fine. But I planted about, I'm going to say 80 to 100 sunflowers out in my back garden just last week.
Fantastic.
So, yeah.
I'm so glad I have, Audrey, to be honest. They've just everyone on the allotments comments about it.
Oh, they're happy and they're beautiful, and it just screams summer to me.
Well, JB, was it you that was mentioning about us, or you'd heard somewhere where sunflowers didn't, or was it somebody mentioned it? Sunflowers.
Yeah, no, that was my tip for the last show about them having negative impacts on other plants growing nearby.
I haven't found that, JB.
Yeah. I mean, I saw your garden updates after I said that, and they're clearly not doing any major impact, are they? Everything's looking really healthy. But
I mean, apart from them, kind of, they are like big plants, and they do kind of take, you know what I mean. But that's.
I saw Jane Kelly was talking about it as well.
I heard recently they also help cleanse soil.
Oh, interesting.
Right.
If you've had any bad pesticides and stuff, that they're a good thing to grow to help bring the soil back to balance.
One thing, Audrey, that I'll come across in the later time of them is I'm going to have a hell of a lot of heavy stalks. What do you recommend? How do you compost them, or do you not? You just kind of
leave a really big basket out of them.
Are you taking over Steve's role now, eh? What do you do? I mean, yes, we'll try and keep seeds for birds and you know what I mean, all that. But
we leave the heads on for a while, and the birds love it. The big ones, we have not a neighborhood, a community where they pick up our scraps, so to speak, garden scraps. So we'll just chop them up and put them in there.
Right. So you don't even try and break them down and compost them or anything like that?
Well, I can't have compost bins like you can.
Oh, right. That's right. That's right.
So I have two little spinny bins, and I'm not going to, that's more for, I use it more for kitchen waste than garden waste.
Right.
It's big enough to handle that.
Now I've just seen Stephen come back in there. Stephen, are you there? Are you having trouble, Stephen? What is it? The Cumbrian internet? It
is. It goes uphill, down dale, and under lake.
So we're
panicking there. It was making me sweat.
Well, I'll tell you what. Look at that. You can even see the.
I thought you went and had a shower or something, a little break.
What were we talking about? Anything that Steve could or not?
Ants, maybe?
Ants, yes, Steve. We had someone mention that they've got like an ant's nest. Now, I was just telling everyone I've got a huge one in the polytunnel actually it's on the path. It doesn't bother us. It bothers us when they kind of crawl up your legs and that. What is there anything we should be worried about with ants, or you just kind of leave them and let them get on? Or
I just leave them and let them get on with it. To be honest, I mean, eventually they'll swarm and fly away anyway. I mean, if they do worry you, can drown them. Just put loads and loads of water on them, soak the nest, and they will just move off and find somewhere drier. That's why they're in your tunnel, because it's dry.
Right. Oh, well, like I say, it doesn't bother us, you know what I mean? So
yeah, I don't think they do much harm. I mean, I'm all for letting pests into the allotment, so I don't mind so much. It's only when something gets really attacked where you're not going to get anything left that I'm thinking about, well, what can I do to stop them? Otherwise, I'll just let them get on with it. If they eat a cabbage, so what, I don't want to, I go down there to de-stress and enjoy myself, and I enjoy the work down there, but I'm not going to come away stressed. I've got ants here and slugs there and things there and neighbours.
Too much else to worry about in the world than ants.
Exactly.
We've got Let's Grow Home is asking, and I'm guessing this is just to do with the heat there. My carrots are running to seed, but the carrots haven't swollen or grown that much. What's caused them to bolt? Audrey, I'm guessing you can. Who are you? You're you, Audrey. Audrey, I guess this is the same thing. It's got to be the heat, hasn't it?
Well, I'm thinking heat or uneven watering. I also
Yes.
think even in this heat, if things are getting enough water, they tend not to bolt as much.
Yeah.
Uh, but not that that's a cure-all. It just they might not
See,
bolt.
I was going to jump on that because I was going to say, well, your irrigation's not working properly. Then,
Exactly.
yeah,
But some of these, like I had some cabbage that I know was going to go. Our spring got too warm too fast, and these are cabbage that normally grow better in the fall, Chinese cabbage.
Right.
But I thought I could get them in there and get something, and oh no.
I know why Steve's laughing there because I kind of grow
Oh
them,
yeah,
to be
because
honest.
that's
Yeah, me
they don't
neither.
like. But we were having such a cold, damp spring. I thought I'm gonna jam them in and see what happens, and here they went.
Audrey, I
So
kind of grow bloody well. I can grow them and they germinate and then they go lovely for about 5 weeks. Then all of a sudden they just go. They don't seem to like grow into a head, and they go all like moldy and that, and then
Yeah.
it's like and they're actually a DRC. You know, I think it's like $3.99 for bloody 10 or something silly like that. And
yeah,
No,
I have
brilliant.
much better luck with those Chinese cabbage in the fall. But you
well,
know,
that's when I
I was
try.
testing it, Steve. I was having my own test.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to beat the weather a little bit. I didn't.
So, Steve, I know you've had kind of trouble with Chinese cabbage. Are you going to have a go this year again?
Of course I am. Yeah. Never give up.
Never give
I'll-
up. You'll
I'll
get
find
there
a
one
way.
day.
Yeah.
What's your plan then? What's your plan this year?
The thing is, as Audrey was saying then, it is a sort of an autumn cabbage, and our winters are getting so much warmer. I mean, it was about 10 years ago here in October where we were frozen in and everything was frozen solid. It was about -10. It was awful. But now we don't seem to get that weather and well into January or February, and it's really mild on the run up to Christmas. So I think my sort of nemesis is that I'm wanting to grow these Chinese cabbage for Christmas, and I've been trying every year, and every year I try a different method. Same as you, Tony, they rot or they just don't form heads, but I'll find a way. I don't know what I'm doing this year, but I might do the scattergun approach this year. Just grow loads of plants and then just put them everywhere on a plot and see what happens.
See what happens. JB,
Yeah.
do you ever grow the Chinese cabbage?
I've tried.
It seems
exactly.
a hot.
Well, I think I always do it at the wrong time of year, so it's just user error. But they always just bolt like crazy as soon as it gets kind of warm in the middle of May. They just go and they're gone before, and they're still so tiny, so they're not really usable. But yeah, maybe I'll try some sort of. Well,
I'm not
you
going to
say
bother.
fall, Audrey. What's
Yes,
what kind of
because it's going into
September? Is
shorter
that too
days.
late?
I'm sorry.
Do you think September
I
is
didn't
too
hear you,
late to be
JB.
saying that kind of thing?
September,
right?
Audrey. How we last get with it? September.
Oh, what you said? What time of year?
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
yeah. You were saying in fall to sow more.
Okay. Oh yeah, I would probably start them inside in August, mid-August, and
Okay.
then pop them outside and see what happens. Because we're not getting a freeze now until early November, which is, I mean, this whole climate shift is it's wonderful, but that's how you don't know how long you have in the fall, because you might have a freeze, you might not. So, but we did harvest a tremendous amount of leaves, leaves from the Chinese cabbage before it went.
Sorry,
And they were wonderful. We made kimchi out of it. It wasn't a head, but it worked.
What's your kimchi like, Audrey? Is it nice?
Oh,
Oh.
yeah.
Oh,
No, it's,
a way to a man's heart there. It's not even like just very subtly. Oh yes, it's nice.
oh,
Trust
it's really good.
Oh, send us a jar. Send us a jar, Ori.
I can't send that over there, can I?
Oh, turn a
I'll
blind
send
eye.
you the recipe and you can make it yourself.
I can't grow the bloody stuff, man. That's
Oh, well, you can buy it in the grocery store.
Oh yes, I mean we've got to actually. There's a Mystic over here. I use the one called Mr. Kimchi, and actually buy. It's a big. It comes in a big plastic. You know, he does the little jars of it. Steve, it's got some chilies in. We'll just blank you out now for this time more. But it's so nice. Keep it in the fridge and it's like cool hot. If that's kind of anything to go by.
Yeah, which is the beauty of it. Yeah. It's awesome.
Have you, JB, just while we're running this kind of rabbit hole down, kimchi? Are you a fan of kimchi? Have you cooked?
I've tried it a little bit, and it seems like it's right up my alley. And I've always wanted to make my own out of stuff I've grown myself, and I've never been successful.
Oh, no.
I was really excited to do sauerkraut as well last year because I tried that in Germany and loved it. I was like, yeah, I'm going to try some of that, and because I ferment my chili sauces as well, it's kind of it's all fermentation. And it's the same kind of lacto fermentation. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to do all this stuff, and then I didn't grow any cabbages last year.
Well, I've got I've got loads of cabbages, absolutely loads. They're all firming up. The heads are looking lovely. Everything's perfect with me cabbages. Steve, how's yours?
Mine are doing okay.
Come on, away, man.
I've got about a dozen.
All right, right.
I've got Caraflex this year, which is trying to think of the variety name. It's Caraflex, and it's one of the pointed ones,
Right. Have you ever done then, Steve, sauerkraut with your cabbages?
I did a long time ago, back when I was actually catering, to be honest. We did some for a buffet. I remember doing that, but that's going back like 30 years, I think.
Right.
A long time ago.
Well, talking about a long time ago, Steve, I might as well tell everybody someone's just came into this world a long time ago. Yay. 57. When were you? Because I actually forgot to say happy birthday. I think I have something on, Steve. I was aware, I'm sure. When were you 57 then, big fella?
That was yesterday.
Oh, everyone there, come on, wish the old boy. He can still touch his toes. Man, for God's sake.
Yeah, 1 foot at a time.
Talking about that then, Steve, like 57, I'm 56 in July. Do you notice yourself stiffening up a little bit? Or like, because after doing that compost bin, the sun just carried on, nothing but it knocked me all day. Do you know what I mean? I kind of bathing, and I'm still going like, bloody hell, and I'm finding, I would have thought 55, you still, but it's just, it wipes you out, like a good hard day is like a couple of hours.
It does, but
look at JP laughing at the old ones.
I've got it all to look forward to.
I tell you what, I can feel it in the morning when I pick up the kettle for my first coffee, and I'm thinking, you're making all these old man noises, or putting the cat's food down on the bowl and bending over.
Them noises,
strange noises.
Them noises, Steve, are like you say, it's everything now. Bending down, putting the water bowls for the dogs. When you come back up, it's like I almost laugh to myself because I'm thinking, right, don't make and I get, as soon as I put it down, you know what I mean? You're thinking, bloody hell, man, you old bugger, you. So,
but after 10 minutes being out in the fresh air, all that goes away, and you forget about it for another 24 hours.
So it does tick, because I was thinking when you put that. Well, when you just anything, because you've done some big builds this year. You built all them beds. You built that kind of big frame. Like your sweet pea frame.
Oh, sweet peas. Yeah.
That looked a big monster of a thing. That like it's all this kind of. Is there any hot baths after that?
Not really. I don't really let things faze me. I just feel it the next day and think, maybe I should have took the 2 days to do that job rather than one. I'm still thinking like I'm 20 years old. And I think most people of our age still feel that way. You still think you're 20 years old. I mean, it must be worse for you with your son. Your son's running rings around you, and you're sat there sort of next to your compost heap, sort of leaning on your shovel, doing nothing.
Well, I was organising.
Doing all the work.
I was organising, Steve. There has to be one at the top to organise.
Supervisor.
You couldn't even stand there with a blinking hose pipe. You had to get the hose pipe.
It's just like the waterboard. You know what I mean? Like 4 working, but one's got the shovel working. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
Have we got any more? Stephen, this will be right up your street. Marion's asking, when is the right time to start onion seeds for winter onions? Now, I'm not sure.
Winter
onions. I'm not sure what you mean by winter onions. You mean like just sowing them early, like say, kind of, I don't know, January for the summer time, or?
Well, I've never done it myself, but I remember reading an article many, many years ago, and it's something to do with you've got to grow them in the summer, and then you've got to either stop them growing, take them out, and that's the point where you heat treat them. But I'm sure you start them growing into growth, and then you stop them growing, and then you start them again in the fall.
Right.
But I don't know. That you'll have to Google that one because I've never done it.
Well, just if we've picked that up wrong, though, what would you say for like say onions that you want to pick and say, I guess from now to through August? When would you sow them? When would you put them outside?
My normal onions.
Normal onions.
Well, normal onions I sow on Boxing Day and plant in the spring, and they'll be coming up in 2 or 3 weeks. Is that what you mean? Those onions? No, yeah. Always sow them on Boxing Day. That's traditional.
Is that what Grandad did?
Is I. Well, I used to go and do it with him. We'd get out. The house would be hot. It'd been cooking big dinners. You go out after dinner, out into the cool garden and into the greenhouse, and it was fun again. We were starting to grow things, and I had my little step so I could see on top of the bench and that, and I was watching my granddad doing it. So yeah, it's big memories for me. That's why I always do that.
So just out of curiosity, then, are you playing with heat in Boxing Day as well? Then for them onions, are they germinating without heat? Because as you know, I'm a set man, but I think me head's been turned with these red onions that were seeds. None of them's bolted yet. There's a couple that are kind of looking a bit flaky, but not bolted. None of them is bolted. Do you know what I mean? So.
Well, I mean, I bring mine in and put mine on in the kitchen windowsill. So I just sow a little tiny tray. You can get 50 or 100 seeds in that, and then just cover in the compost, light watering, and then put them on the kitchen windowsill. Wait for them to come up.
Well, what did Grandad do though?
He did the same thing.
Right.
On the kitchen windowsill.
So there we go. Then there we go. JB, are you an onion man? Are you going to sow?
Yeah, I mean, I still try and grow them despite the white rot. But like you guys, not that familiar with winter onions. I know Tony's in the chat from Simplify Gardening, and he's giving all the tips. He knows what wintering onions are. So he's
I'm not looking at the normal chat. I've only got the kind of, thank you very much, Tony. Always appreciated. There'll be a pint of lager. You know what I mean? It'll be noted in dispatches. Thank you very much, sir.
Sorry,
JB.
I was going to say normal onions are always the one that it gets to kind of February and I go, oh God, I haven't actually started anything, and I should have started my onions ages ago. And then I could go out and buy sets.
I know.
Too late.
Well, it's for me, like I say, it's I'm going to try, and I'll aim for Boxing Day as well, because I like that kind of idea, Steve. That's quite a nice.
It's a lovely idea.
Because it's like almost like here we go again. Do you know what I mean? It's like it's starting. It's a lovely feeling when you're kind of being in the dark depths, and that's why.
But there is something else about those. My mate across the road, he works in a nursery. And I could, if I wanted to, go across and get all my veg plants from him, but obviously I don't. One year,
I wonder.
Oh, you've seen me sowing.
All this nonsense just for the camera. He does all this, right? And then he just goes and wipes it off, and then goes and sees his mate Barry and brings over 10 bags.
But yeah, one year, a friend of mine, a neighbour of mine on the allotments didn't have any onions at all, and he couldn't get all the sets, and he was asking me if I had any spares. So I got some seedlings off my mate, and this was in March. And these seedlings, they were only this sort of big. And my mate Andy, he grew them to a massive size, red onions. So they couldn't have been sown any earlier than the end of February. But they still came along and grew into massive onions. So timing and heat is generally key.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's funny. I did those banana shallots, and I'm sure it was down to heat, because they just seem to take ages to germinate. And I don't know if the kitchen was too cold. You know what I mean? But had a right gear, like a fight on with them. But they're there now. But what a chew on. You know what I mean? Because once you miss
just
your
want a
window,
you want a temperature of about 12 to 13 degrees for them. And this is the thing, I see people sowing the Zabrun shallots in January, February. Don't need to. March is fine for them. Really is fine.
Audrey, onions, are you? Do you start yours off Boxing Day, the Americans, or do you?
I don't start them that early. I start them in January. I've never grown. I can't grow an overwintered onion, so I'm not sure. I would have nothing to say about that. We get way too cold for anything to live. But yeah, I've got about 200 out there right now that are starting to fall over. So we'll get our onions soon.
There we go. Right
JB,
now,
are you online there? There's an idiot in there. Can you get that idiot?
Yeah, I thought I got it.
you know what?
Yeah, you did. It's off.
Thank you.
I bought, just to kind of tell, I bought, and it was £10 well spent from a guy who had all the foulest words you can think of, and you put your foulest words in the kind of YouTube, in the kind of the back engine, so foul words don't come up or come through. But I'm realizing some people, the foul words, you know, but are also, when you have a foul word, but you have it in like a sentence, it's not a foul word, you know what I mean? So, but it seems to be working, but I didn't see who that kind of joker was there, to be honest, because I'm on the question. So, JB.
It's all part of the fun.
It's like gaming, JB. It's like gaming, isn't it? You know? Whack-a-mole.
It's funny actually. We had a talk with Sean about this, Sean James Cameron, a couple of weeks ago. You can't use the word hose in some broadcasts. You know, of course, we use hose for gardening, and hose also has another connotation. And there was another thing as well about deadheading your roses. You can't say deadhead as well. So I made this sentence up in using all those words in Sean's broadcast, and the sentence got pulled.
Did it? Right.
But, it was funny. It was very funny.
Well, Stephen, you want to talk about, you brought up the great subject of like council allotments, purely because as well, I don't know if people knew, but the allotment, the top of me, has now got an owner. And I did, you know, if anyone knows, I did put my name down for it. And, you know, I kind of thought, oh, that'd be nice. It'd be nice to kind of go through the whole process of getting allotment up to speed. But when I found out this lady had been waiting 9 years for the allotments, do you know what I mean? And you kind of think, because I only like said it a couple of months ago, do you know what I mean? And I feel great, to be honest, that she's got it. And since, like, did I show it on the compost bin video? But she's done way more. Do you know what I mean? And it would, like, I wouldn't have been up to where she's up. You know what I mean? She's cracking on there. She's all kind of coming together as quick as out.
Yeah.
So
good. That's
brilliant, to be honest. So what did you want to mention, Steve?
Well, it was a bit of a shout for help, really. With I kind of feel that allotment sites are sort of isolated from other allotment sites. Now, I know there are umbrella organisations like NASLAG out there where you can go and join as a site, and you can get the information and help and legal help and assistance and those kind of things. But what I'm trying to assess is the way some organisations work, the way some parish councils work, and the way allotment committees work, and what their costs are in relation to their rents. Because ours are coming up for review soon, and the costs that they've relayed to us about what they're spending, to me, seem absolutely extortionate. And I'm just curious to see what other sites and other allotments are doing up and down the country. So if anyone wants to contact me and wants to give me that information, it'll all remain anonymous. I'm just looking for as much information about other sites as I can possibly get my hands on.
So did you mean there, Steve, like the cost, what it's costing them to run these sites? Because what do they do to run? What do they do to run it, apart from give you water?
Well, I mean, at the minute, our costs, we've got 2 sites in our village, very small. There's only about 40 plots on each. And I think the rents they collect are somewhere around £6,000. Now, recently I've been told that they've spent £8,000. So they're now over budget and they're talking about putting the rent up, and we can't quantify what they've spent £8,000 on. When you consider that occasionally a tap might break. I know that their parish clerk puts time in, and that's charged as well. But I just can't quantify the costs. So I'm just curious to see what other sites are doing. And if anyone can help me with that, that'd be smashing.
Well, I know my costs. Everything seems to be going up. You know what I mean? And it's kind of.
Yeah.
I think I'm in the higher echelon of when I've mentioned on the show. You know, like how much does your allotment cost? I don't know. Being down south, Jimmy, I would have naturally thought yours would be a lot dearer than mine, but I don't know if it is. And I can't remember what you said yours was.
Pretty cheap. I was at £30 a year, but I've only got half a plot, so it would be 60 for a full.
See, mine's just way more than, you know what I mean? I think mine's probably about 110, 105, something like that. But
I think mine's 140.
But
Well,
yours
you've got
is
10, haven't you?
Yours is cockamouth, though. You know what I mean? It is cockamouth. You'll not have any costs or anything like that, or excuse me, you don't even have allotments. You know what I mean? So, in terms of costs, do you have any running costs for your back garden, or does anything come up?
I mean, it's the water bill in the summer is a little higher. No, I mean, I don't pay more tax because I have it there. No, it's essentially just what I pay anyway.
You can't have a compost bin, though.
Not like you guys can, because I would love one like that, but no.
That's just
because we could make we do crazy. So much flipping of beds, and so there's so much waste that could be composted. That yes, we could have a really nice big compost bin. But
even to the point, Audrey, I allowed, one of those ones you can get kind of off Amazon where it's like a spinning barrel.
I have two of those.
All right,
I have two of those.
Right.
But they don't hold as much as you might think they would.
Yeah.
Because when you first put it in, it's a great volume and it goes down quite quickly. But no, they're not the best. I'm just trying to do what I can do. But I am going to do a whole lot more with chop and drop this year.
Yes, you were saying that, where you was it borage? What was it? You were going to use some. You were going to comfrey.
But I'm also going to use when I have when I'm taking out like my bean plants. I'm going to chop them and drop them right where they were growing.
Right. So I mean, I'll leave the roots in anyways. Do you not leave the roots in anyways?
Oh, I do leave the roots of beans and peas and all of that in. But I think all the upper green foliage, I'm just going to chop it and leave it on the dirt, and then put my compost on for the next year and call it done.
Yeah, makes sense.
Wait till you see my compost next year. Oh, it's going to be beautiful.
It looked good right now. No, it did.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to leave it, mind you, because I'm going to leave it because I'm sure last year's. I don't know why, but there's 2 beds just full of weeds, which has kind of knocked me carrots this year. And it's like, I don't know if it's the compost or it's coming from maybe the top garden. I don't know, but we will see. Have we got any more?
I saw some steam come out of Steve's ears when you said the word compost.
Oh, I know.
maybe we need to not say that anymore.
All right, allotment newbies mentioned, which is a good one as well. Let me just put this up. To everyone talking about allotments, does everyone have an allotment inspection? Oh, the dreaded inspection. We do.
Yes.
Or we're not told about it if we kind of there and he comes round, you know what I mean? But he does come round certain times a year and make sure, obviously make sure the water, everything's fine, but essentially to make sure you're using the plot. Do you know what I mean? The kind of, so does that happen?
I've had about 3 or 4 inspections on our site, and they've never come through the gate. They just look and say, "Oh well, you're doing okay," and walk on. I think as you say, as long as you've got, I think it's over 70% production on your allotment plot, I think they're happy.
Oh, you certainly have. JB, have you got any inspections?
Yeah, we definitely have them. I've seen someone like once in 3 years wandering around with their little clipboard, you know. But yeah, we get no notice or anything, and I really do think it's just a cursory, you know, is someone using that plot or not? And certainly at our plots, it's very easy to tell when there's one that's just been.
Well, like I say, I think it's still a valid thing. They still need to go around because, like you say, you end up someone waiting 9 years for an allotment. Do you know what I mean? And if
that's
I think it's right.
Yeah. So I've just got a couple of photographs I just want to show. I just want to.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, look at that! Hey, the old boy. He's got his salad. I love he's looking at his phone. I'm sure he's on Instagram there trying to crack Instagram as well. Stephen, how long have you had that? How long have you had that bloody thing?
About 3 years now, I think.
You didn't just buy it at Waitrose this year, did you?
No, I don't know where Waitrose is. Never heard of it. Is it next door to Aldi?
Let's have a consensus and put it in the chat as well. Are they worth it? Because it's when you get a good harvest, I'm sure they would just fill up pretty quickly. To be honest,
They would. Yeah. I mean, and I use mushroom trays as well, and the big supermarket trays as well. That was an extravagance, but something I've always wanted. And you can guess where that came from. But I've always wanted a proper made truck, made by truck makers, handmade. And that's what that is. So it was a lot of money, but it's something I've always wanted.
Mm-hmm. Well, there you go.
Well, and Tony, it's like growing flowers. You're allowed to have something just pretty in the garden.
That's right, Ori. That's right.
And if a truck is a joyful thing to harvest into, I'm all for it. Because I think they're beautiful.
What?
They are.
You know what? I'm looking at Steve's there, and it looks a bit kind of. It's when they look new. I don't like that new kind of. And JB's looked hellish new. He said it was 3 bloody year old.
I keep it clean. That's all.
Well, JB, you sent me this picture. Now you've just took down. I mean, we're in July. The whole summer's nearly finished now. You've just took down your chilies. So, one question straight away then: did they take to coming into the I can't do it on a straight face, for God's sake.
I'm laughing too much already. So what happened is I took them up, and it had been a little while since I watered them. And I thought they would be all right. And I went up the very next day, and they'd been in there all day. So I went up in the evening thinking, they're probably due a water. And Tony, would you like...
I cannot find that picture, but I know... I know it's like, oh my God, he's done it again. You know what I mean? It's just like... But you said, to give you a kind of credit, JB, it was like, you know what I mean? We were talking hours, and they got hit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And this is like... So just
I turned up and they looked pretty much dead. You know, chili peppers they have a kind of
they don't
very quickly. But yeah, these guys they looked very sad, but they perked up pretty quick. You know, that is the thing about peppers.
To be honest, they look beautiful there. So to be honest, and when did you? When did you? You know, to nearly lose them again. When did you?
They're not that bad.
When did you actually sow your chilies then?
Do you know what? I can't remember off the top of my head. I think it was I can't remember. It was January, February time. You know,
right.
It was early, and they were under lights. They had heat. They were kind of pampered. And we've had a few ups and downs throughout the year, as you know, and they've been a bit kind of neglected. And I missed the chance to get them into their final pots, really. Towards end of May at the very latest, I wanted to get those into at least kind of 7.5, 10 litre pots, so they would really get full size. And this year, you know, it wasn't happening. It's a big job. I kind of gave up with them and just said, you know what, let's just leave them they're in little 2.5 ones at the moment. And I said, I'm not going to stress about it. Just leave them in 2.5. They're still going to get a really good size, especially if you just feed them quite heavily. I'm still using a more balanced feed. I'm not going full for flowering now, although kind of in a few days I will, and just focus on fruiting for the rest of the year. But they're still pretty good sized plants. They're still looking really healthy, and I'll have more chili peppers that I can realistically use. So
well, the question I'm going to ask you obviously is: will there be a bottle of chili sauce coming up to the northeast of England? That's what I get.
Certainly,
you know what I mean?
Yes, I can send them out left, right, and centre.
I don't want to kind of spoil it if you've only got like 2 or 3 bottles.
No. I've still got plenty from last year.
And actually, I haven't got JB. I haven't got that other photograph. JB sent another photograph to me, Steve, and Audrey in the chat of. It was an ugly tomato, and he pulled.
Oh yeah,
he pulled the ugly tomato off, and I was thinking, JB, you've only got 4 tomato plants. You haven't got that many tomatoes to kind of. And he said, "It's not a very pretty one." Do you know what I mean? So,
it wasn't just not pretty. It looked like it was going to go mouldy and horrible. It was like 3 tomatoes all like growing into each other, and just like it looked wrong. It looked wrong.
What? Did you have the same thought, Steve? When
yeah, but it can still bloom and eat. A question I want to ask is, you on our private Potty Mouth chat thing, you posted some pictures earlier today of a mega bloom of a tomato. Was that on your plants?
Yeah, that was my blackberry.
Is this what we're talking about here? Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that is a Blackberry Cane. You can see there's one behind it in the background, a normal looking one. And then this is one that's just gone mad thick and just gone totally crazy. And it's something called fasciation. I think that's how it's pronounced anyway. You see it in, it's kind of like a rare mutation that you get in flowers and all sorts of plants, and it just looks amazing. I don't know what it's going to do with the leaves at the end there or the flowers. It's just really cool.
Going to eat your greenhouse.
Just a bizarre looking. Have you seen that, Audrey? That kind of thing, like a mega bloom or whatever.
I have not seen that with the blackberry, but the emaciated tomatoes, I get those every year. I let them grow because I just think they look so cool.
Well, that's what I
just want to see what they're going to end up like.
And plus, you can, you know, what I mean, they're all the same when they go into the tomato sauce pot. That's the
right. But JB's correct. They have those crevices and stuff that they can mold easier. There can also be just some bugs that like to get in there. So they're not as clean a tomato as your regular one, but I just like to see what they look like.
JB is changing his tune now because he didn't mention any of that when he showed us the pictures. He said it's not very pretty tomato.
Well, I thought it was going to go rotten. I didn't think it through. I should have left it on there. But these are the things we learn.
Oh yes, exactly. So have you got any more tomatoes on your plants, JB? Are you?
Yeah, none as big as that. That one was a beast. And I think Audrey might be right because the flower looked a bit funky as well. So it might have been kind of a weird mutated flower. But the rest of the plants are doing okay. They're doing all right.
So
a few tomatoes, none ripe yet, but we're getting there.
I know, but mine's not ripe yet. No. I tell you what, mind you, Audrey, I'm now getting, those the trusses are coming through from is it Barry's Crazy Cherry? You know what I mean? And you're looking at me thinking, wow, there's going to be a few on there, mind you. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Oh, there is.
Yeah. Well, I want to kind of keep a lot of seeds this year as well and try and give them away in competitions. Because I think, the Brad's Atomic and the Barry's Crazy Cherry, they're just going to be... I'm hoping it tastes nice, Audrey. Have you had it before? Oh, you haven't had it, haven't you not?
I haven't. We're all growing it the first time.
And have you got trusses on now then, Audrey, have you?
I do.
And now they're looking nice. Are they looking quite bizarre? And
I had to do some work on the back tomato bed, my indeterminates. And Steve, I'm going to pull a few of my big offshoots, and I'm going to stick them in the ground, and we're going to see what happens.
Well, it's mine are growing.
I just might have a long enough season, and they're already well ahead of the game. I might get tomatoes.
And
once I pull all that garlic out of my beds, oh my gosh, I'm going to have so much room. So I'm trying to think of things to pop in.
Yeah, that's right, didn't you, Audrey? You bought you're in 500.
Oh, that's coming this week.
We'd love to have a video off that. So
that's going to be maybe a series
crazy
of
cherries
videos.
are crazy trusses on them. I'm actually worried now that I might need to tie each truss up, because I think once they get full of tomatoes, I think they're going to be so blinking heavy.
Aye, that's a good point,
Oh,
Steve.
yes.
Aye.
Those trusses
Yeah.
are absolutely huge. I mean, some of them are spread over an area. I've got one truss that's spread over an area like this, and it's just a mass of flowers. And I'm thinking, flipping heck.
Oh, I know.
It's mind-blowing.
Yes, I'm looking forward to it, to be honest, looking forward to it. What I forgot to mention at the beginning of the show, let me just get rid of that, is, where did I put it? Screen share, here we go. We are going to move the Potty Mouth Garden Club to its own channel. Now, I'm not going to do this straight away because we'll be talking to like thin air. So there is a link in the chat, and there is a link in the description to sign up. So please come over and join that. And over the weeks, I'll put a little kind of intro video on so you've got something there. I don't know if you can actually sign up or join it there now. So the Potty Mouth will be there. You know, it'll not be on the Tony C. Smith, he's fantastic channel. It'll be on its own kind of channel. You know what I mean? So please, that would be lovely. Sign up for that. I'm going to get a banner made, or it's in the works of getting made as well, with the little characters and the logo. We are close to, yes, we are 6 minutes past on the hour. Tips of
overtime.
Tips of the day. Audrey, I'm going to come to you straight away, my girl, for your tip.
I have props.
Oh,
Wow.
So this is a wastebasket that I purchased at Dollar Tree. So I imagine the UK maybe have pound stores or
yes,
Plenty.
something like that. So these were like $1 a piece. I bought these years and years ago. And whenever I put in a plant that I think is in a location that a bunny or some other beast is going to get it while it's small, I just pop these over it, and I stick it, and I keep it in the dirt with a couple garden staples. And until they reach the top, I let them live under it. And this has saved me so many plants.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I think it is because it lets all the air in. These have somehow weathered super well. And they just, I keep them in the garage, and when I need one, I pop it on.
Oh, excellent. JB, don't you be running to bloody Waitrose to buy them, mind you. You get them a lot cheaper somewhere else.
Okay,
mind.
I'm just going to ask about this Waitrose thing. Is it a snooty store? Is that it? Or is it a bargain basement store? I can't tell.
No, it's a very fancy, expensive store that I can't afford to shop at.
Okay.
But I had a bag one time.
It's a fancy grocery store.
Yeah, it's posh. And we know JB goes there. You know, he has to kind of. It's one of these things. He needs to come out about it. You know what I mean? Kind of just admit. You know what I mean? For everyone, that kind of. You know what I mean?
I just wasn't sure which way we were going with this.
He loves the yogurts. He loves the yogurts and the little packets of fruit. You know, you have like a little, and you pay like £3 for like an apple chopped up. That's. JB, I'm messing, JB. What is your tip for the week, sir?
Okay, so I think I'm going to go main one. It's one that most of you know, but it's a bit about the importance of pH for your plants. And it's something I've noticed firsthand this year with my peppers. I've got kind of two sets, one that I kept at home, one that I kept in the greenhouse. And the ones in the greenhouse should be rocketing away. They get way more light, better temperatures, they're in the best place. But the ones in the greenhouse are doing much worse. And I realized, I think the main issue is that they have mostly been fed with tap water. And the pH of the tap water is probably too high, I think.
Yes,
I think they need a lower pH one. So the ones that I've got at home, we've got a massive water butt that collects all the water off the roof. And so abundance of rainwater, and they are rocketing away. So it's just something to be mindful of. If you're not collecting rainwater already for numerous benefits, it's much better for your plants.
Well, it must be, JB, it must be better anyways, because there's going to be more minerals, I would have thought, in the whole process than like, because Northumberland Water make the water. Do you know what I mean? So we kind of put a few things in to kind of make it sterile.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
there's chlorine, potentially chloramine as well, which is it doesn't evaporate out of tap water. I don't think we've got that down here, but as well, if you're using tap water, it is a good idea to let it sit for at least a few days so that stuff can evaporate off it. Some of it does.
Stephen, tip of the week, sir.
Well, at this time of the year, people who are still feeding their tomatoes conventionally. I feed mine every day, as you know. But if you feed them once a week, just make sure that the ground is wet before you feed them. Otherwise, that feed will just go straight into the soil, dry out, and then the plants won't get the feed. So just make sure you wet the soil before you feed. Just makes your feed go further and saves you pennies.
That's what I was going to ask Steve as well, because we're both on the fertigation kind of route at the moment. So would wetting the soil, like a nice kind of damp soil, would that not like dilute the feed, anything like that? Or just get it wet and then bang the feed in and up it goes to the plant?
You're wetting the soil when you're watering the plants, and all the soil will let the plants access that water through its roots. But I just always think that if you just come along, and 2 or 3 times a week you're watering your plants, and then on the day that you feed them or you don't water them, all that feed, I think, just goes into the soil and stays dry, and then the plants can't access it. So if you water the soil first, my belief, I don't know if it's true or not, but I believe that the feed goes into that soil and stays there and stays available for the plants.
Well, I'm feeding every day, but I cannot leave at the moment the tomatoes a day without the need like water for the heat. Do you know what I mean? It's brutal, to be honest. And even now, you know what I mean? I kind of, what am I sitting at my temperature? 24. There, Steve, what you got over there in brutal Cockermouth? 90. Oh, bloody winter there, lad. JB, what have you got down there? Still 20.
Yes,
25.
I'm going to pop down soon. I'm just going in the evenings at the moment.
Oh, I know. It's just too hot. Audrey, what have we got there? 29. Get in there, Audrey, lad.
Well, it's only 2:00, so we're still going to go up today.
It's brutal. So I think that's it. Have I got anything else to say? Oh, I'll tell you what I've got to say as well. 1 second. I'll put it on all of it and do a screen share. Audrey, let me get my mouse over. Audrey has clipped 1,000 subscribers there.
Yay!
Well done. To be honest, I love that picture, that the carrots and the beetroot there. What a lovely picture that is. Just like dead, earthy, rustic. Lovely. So please pop over to Audrey. That will be fantastic. Subscribe. The next goal is 5,000. We'll keep pushing to get Audrey build up there.
Okay, I'm going to keep trying.
Yes, please. And while we're on, JB. There we go. Look at that. Naturally JB. What a beautiful little
that
site.
fits your channel so well, JB.
Thank you very much.
Beautiful. Yeah.
We've been talking about like JB's editing skills, and he's spending a lot of time making these videos. So please go over there and watch. He's taking forever to put a video out because he's like
too long.
Yes, a bit precious with the editing. It's not like the old boy here. 5 minutes and it's up and it's away. So please pop over to Stephen. I haven't had a chance, Stephen, to watch this like number 2 in the kind of, and I love these little things, just tips and clips. Fantastic.
Yeah,
just you kind of get better than that. Kind of get better than this fella's allotment and channel. So yes, everyone, thank you so much for coming. Don't forget,
you're welcome.
Don't forget, we have the Discord. There is a link in the kind of the show notes and everything like that. Pop over and say hello. That would be fantastic. And I've got that many buttons to press there.
There he is again.
There he is again. The new Potty Mouth Garden Club channel. I'll get a little intro video there. So in about 4 weeks to 6 weeks, we'll ship wholesale over to there and we'll start running this from there as well. So that would be fantastic. So big thank you. What time we got now? We've got 1:40.
Quarter past.
Oh, hell. Over. I'll have to be paying them. Bloody hell. The union will be on the way.
Compost.
Yes.
in compost.
In compost.
Compost and safety glasses.
Safety glasses, yeah.
So everyone, thank you very much for joining with this week. It's been a
you're
blast. And Stephen, JB, Audrey, always a pleasure, never a chore. Take care.
Thank you very
Do
much.
the bit.
Cheers,
Bye bye.
Bye, everyone.